There is a pervasive saying among women with regards to getting over a breakup as it pertains to the method they use to get over an ex. The saying is, to get over him, you have to get under him. What women mean when they say this is that the best way to get over a bad breakup or an ex is to sleep with as many guys as humanly possible until you no longer feel anything for your ex. Now, to their credit, they're right. Sleeping around is quite an effective strategy when it comes to trying to overcome the hurt feelings inflicted upon them by their ex-boyfriends. Incidentally enough, it works the same with men. I've had my heart broken a few times, but bed hopping afterwards always made it much easier to deal with and sped up the healing process. But just because it's effective for women does not mean it's good for them, which brings me to today's article written by my girl, Amy the Cautionary Tale Horton. She wrote an article entitled, quote, "I'm no longer embarrassed to use one guy to get over another one." This article is absolutely jam-packed with evidence of true female nature. So let's not waste any time here. Let's jump right in. "I've been a stereotypical nice girl my entire life," she says, "but it's not getting me anywhere. Why should I worry so much about guys' feelings when it seems like they don't care at all that much anyway? I'm done tiptoeing around them." So right here in her introductory paragraph, she starts out with a lie. She says she's been a stereotypical nice girl her entire life, but according to her, that hasn't worked out. Now, you might be asking, well, what exactly is the stereotypical nice girl? Well, the word stereotypical nice girl is a link to an article entitled, "Nice Girls Finish Single. You might not like it, but it's true." Guys, that is 472% BS. This is another case of a woman giving themselves permission to be poorly behaved in relationships. According to that article, these nice girls put the needs of their men ahead of their own, invest too much time in their boyfriends, get attached too quickly, only see the good in people, and make being nice their defining quality. So let me get this straight. Not being selfish, being kind, getting attached because she actually likes the guy and wants to show him, being optimistic about people, and investing in the men she's been in relationships with has gotten her nowhere. Being nice, optimistic, and generally nice to her boyfriends has left her single? Get the hell out of here with that. That's not even close to true. This is a classic case of blame shifting and using an outright lie to shift the blame. Miss Horton would have us believe that being a genuinely good woman has never worked out for her. She wants us to believe that even though she was good to her men and made it clear through her actions that she was 100% invested in them and would do whatever it takes to get their commitment, turned them off, and they all ended up dumping her. This is the same thing as a woman telling you she cheated on her husband or boyfriend because he cheated, but then you find out he didn't cheat at all. She wanted to cheat and attempted to blame shift and just decided to lie about it. I remember a long time back, I had Alan Roger Curry on, and he cracked me up when he said in his female voice, "I have never heard a woman say, 'I can't keep a boyfriend because I'm just too submissive.'" And he's 100% right. What Amy Horton is doing here is giving her and other women permission to be disrespectful, insufferable, lie, and cheat in their relationships because being a kind, submissive, committed, and selfless woman backfired. That somehow being a wonderful girlfriend caused her boyfriends to treat her poorly. I don't buy that for a second. This is a typical inverse projection attempt. We know that the better you treat women, the worse they treat you. Well, Miss Horton, like most women, thinks that the same rules apply to both sides, so she's using what's true on our side, true for them. High caliber men simply do not treat women poorly if their women treat them well. That's ridiculous. Women, on the other hand, will punish you for treating them well. So here's lesson number one, gentlemen. Never commit to a woman who rewards bad treatment and punishes good treatment. And don't kid yourselves, guys. Most women are like this, which is exactly why today's relationships are in the toilet. The better you treat low-quality women, the worse they treat you. Women who are worth committing to don't punish men for treating them well, and they most certainly do not reward them for treating them like garbage. And contrary to what Amy Horton says here in this ridiculous opening paragraph, these women are in solid relationships with solid men. Which leads me to lesson number two, and this one's for the ladies. If you treat a high-value man well, he will treat you well. If a man rewards you for behaving poorly, you're not going to stick around, and you know it. That's not the kind of man you want or need. Ladies, do yourselves a favor and stop listening to women like Amy Horton. She is literally telling you that being a good woman will get you nowhere with high-caliber men. And not only is that patently false, it's flat out irresponsible. This woman is in her early 40s and perpetually single. What on earth does she know about successful relationships? I'll tell you how much. About as much as a fat guy knows about diet and exercise. So let's break down this nonsense and find out why Miss Horton says she's no longer ashamed to sleep around in order to get over a bad breakup, shall we? Guys don't care as much as I think they do. She continues. A lot of men might even be stoked to be used as a rebound. It's the perfect situation if they don't want to commit or stay around all that long. I thought it was mean to use a guy that I don't like that much to help me get over someone else, but I decided as long as I'm honest, it's fair game. So it looks like Amy Horton is still as delusional as ever. Before I discuss this any further, let me quickly remind you to like, subscribe, and share if you like the content. I'd also like to announce that I have taken down all YouTube videos that are not monetized. That's right, guys. If a video I've published, uploaded, or streamed live is not fully monetized, it will no longer be published on or kept on YouTube. I'm doing this to protect my channel and brand, and those of you who know how things work understand that this is a necessary measure if I want to keep growing. But not to worry. Little by little, I will be moving my entire catalog of over 1,000 videos to Patreon, and will eventually migrate them over to my own website. So if you want access to tens of thousands of hours of content that is not safe for YouTube, become a patron at patreon.com/DonovanSharp. Not only will you have access to my daily private stream, you will get to chat with like-minded men who share your mindset about dominating life, living it on your own terms, self-improvement, relationships, and much more. You will also get access to my archived episodes from the past, downloadable audio so you can listen at your convenience or on the go on any device, podcast audio and video free of all the small talk. Join our tight-knit community of over 1,500 men and reap the benefits of knowing the truth and learn how to use it to your advantage by going to patreon.com/DonovanSharp. The link is in the description. Okay, let's get back to this dumpster fire. It is astonishing to me that women still haven't figured out that they are different from us. These chicks are so self-important that they think that everybody, male or female, thinks and acts exactly as they do. Of course men don't care about being used. We know it's just sex. And any man who has hurt feelings about being used for sex is obviously a man with very little experience, meaning he catches feelings for women very easily after he gets some action. But on the other side of that coin, women care very much about being used for sex. Yes, gentlemen, even banana gobblers. No matter how much bedroom experience a woman has in her life, it is always an emotional experience. Now, some women may get more emotional than others, but the fact of the matter is that no woman likes being used only for sex. Even in a friends with benefits arrangement, a woman would love to think their bed buddy likes more about her than her ability to pleasure him. Women need to understand that men and women are different. Yes, we do have similarities, but within the context of any sexual relationships, from one-night stands to friends with benefits arrangements to relationships, we are polar opposites of one another. And the fact that Amy Horton used to think these dudes actually caught feelings for her when she used them for a rebound hookup shows how ignorant she is of her own dating market value. Men of value don't catch feelings for sausage collectors, and we don't care if they use us for sex. Sweetheart, we ain't thinking about committing to you. We're not thinking about wifing up a woman with that much mileage. If there are any women watching, understand this. You banana gobblers out there are little more than receptacles. You exist to give us pleasure and nothing more because that is all you are good for. Do not make the egregious mistake of thinking we actually care about you just because we give you ATM. And I'm not talking about attention, time, and money. If it's casual, she says, no one is getting hurt. She continues, communication is always key, but if I establish in the beginning that it's nothing serious, it'll be fine. Of course, I can't control the possibility that the dude may develop feelings. I could also surprise myself and start liking him. As long as we monitor where we both stand and we're forthcoming, it should be okay. Ah, there it is. A little nugget of truth slipped out. So she tells us she can't control the possibility of the dude catching feelings, which we just established will never happen if the dude she's using as a rebound is worth a damn because he knows he's not going to commit to a woman who jumped into bed with him less than an hour and a half after meeting him. But then she says, I could also surprise myself and start liking him. No, baby girl, that ain't no surprise. You will start liking him. You always do. This is exactly why you wrote an article pretending that you don't feel bad for using one guy to get over another. This means you're in and out of relationships all the time. Amy's the kind of woman who has 15 boyfriends in 2 months. But she doesn't consider herself a sausage collector because they were in a relationship when he gave her a facial in the parking lot. No, sweetie. Allowing a man to use you on the first date does not mean you're in a relationship. These girls love to retroactively put titles on their notches, don't they? They'll hook up with a dude on the first date and then 1 month later be talking about happy 1 month anniversary. No, hon, it's been a month since I started plowing you. And who the hell said we're in a relationship? This is exactly like Helena, a former escort who started a YouTube channel to get my attention because she wants to have 6 of my children, telling us that she was engaged to a guy she used to sleep with when she visited the US. No, sweetheart, that dude was a John, not your fiance. Anyway, this is how girls rack up extremely high body counts, and it's a constant cycle. A girl gets dumped, sleeps with a guy on a rebound, catches feelings, thinks she's in a relationship because he's porking her, gets her feelings hurt when he ghosts her because, well, she's a cucumber connoisseur. She gets depressed about the breakup, goes back to Tinder, swipes right on a guy, and sleeps with him on a rebound, catches feelings, and so on and so forth. Rinse and repeat. I'm tired of being pathetic. She continues, I have to stop pining over guys who don't want me, and in order to do that, I need a way to make myself move on. Trying to do so without any other distraction isn't working. I need a new dude in my life to occupy my mind and to snuggle, so I stop thinking about the one I can't have. This is why girls have HDHPS, which is hot dog in a hallway pea sleeve syndrome. These girls can never not be sleeping with somebody. Far be it for a woman not to have a sausage in them for 5 minutes. But here's the thing. Amy just told on herself and all of the other eggplant enthusiasts out there, and here's why. Women are steady squawking about, I don't need a man. I don't do anything for a man. Men are useless, blah, blah, blah. But the minute a player pulls a nail in bail, what's the first thing she's looking for? A man. Today's women are always telling everybody that men are unnecessary, but are constantly looking for validation from who? From men. They are always looking for a man. They have a house, a car, and a career, but they're still miserable because they don't have a man. What this shows is that women need men no matter how much they want to deny it. And Miss Horton gives herself away as the typical female who says one thing, but feels another. Sometimes it's the only way to get over someone. She continues, it's surprising how much easier it is to get over love when I simply decide I'm going to see someone else for a while. Even if it doesn't work out, it gets me through that period of sadness that would normally feel like a hellish struggle. I'm usually terrible at doing this, so I've made up my mind to just jump in. All bets are off. This is the problem with girls who sleep around. All they know how to do is get plowed. There are plenty of ways to get over a breakup that don't involve getting smashed. We as men, we lift weights, we start projects, we travel, we take up a hobby, and we spend more time with friends and family. This is far more effective than pining over the girl who cheated on us or dumped us out of the blue. Well, women could actually do the same. They could hit the gym. They could start projects. They could pick up a hobby. They could do so many other things that are more productive and healthy than getting pounded out by a bunch of random dudes to get over an ex. This is why today's women are so damaged and have cavernous lady parts. They never stop having sex, which destroys them mentally and physically. Every man a woman lets into her body takes a small piece of their soul, and after a while, there's no soul left to take. That lack of soul manifests itself in what we call the 1,000 banana stare. The lifeless, soulless look in a woman's eyes after she's been plowed 6 waves from Sunday by over 600 men 6,000 times after 6 dozen breakups. Girls thinking that the only way to get over someone is to start sleeping around is bad for their mental and physical health. Let's be real, she says. Neither guy will be mad at it. I'd like to believe that men think about everything as deeply as I do, but the reality is that very few of them do. The guy I'm trying to get over won't care. He hardly even knows I exist. The one I'm using to move on is going to get laid without having to commit. Doesn't sound like such a bad deal now, does it? I have to face the truth that men don't always think with their brains. She's actually right here. The dude who dumped her is glad she's gone, and as far as he's concerned, he's glad she's getting pounded out by whoever because she's someone else's problem now. And the guy getting commitment-free sex definitely doesn't mind. The only problem is that even though both guys win, Amy's the one who loses because she's putting yet more miles on her already overtaxed taco. I'm tired of always worrying about others when they don't return the favor. If a guy was ever as careful of my feelings as I am of his, I'd be floored. I definitely overthink my choices when it comes to men. They do stuff without thinking all the time. Well, now it's my turn. 2 can play at that game. Here she goes with the lying again. Amy, you have never been careful with a man's feelings. You're a sausage collector pushing 40, which automatically tells us that you've had plenty of men come and go and that you didn't give a damn about any of them. Here's the harsh reality. Most women cheat on most of their boyfriends and husbands, and that's all there is to it. Women are never careful with a man's feelings. Then she tries to hold men responsible for her being a banana gobbler when she says, "It's my turn to do stuff without thinking." As if to say, well, the reason I'm letting all these guys pass me around is because men do things all the time without thinking, so I will too. No, ho. Women like you do things all the time without thinking. I love how she tries to tell us it's our fault that she's taken a bunch of phalluses. Like she's been a good girl and just woke up and randomly thought, you know what? Guys do stuff all the time without thinking, so I'm gonna do it too. It's my turn. Get out of here with that. It's too tough to care so much. She continues. It's mostly wasted effort anyway. No one knows or cares when I'm racking my brain about the best way to behave. They're all off living their own lives, so I may as well enjoy myself. It will probably all turn out better than I think it will, and even if it doesn't, at least I was spontaneous. This is more blame shifting, guys, more skirting accountability. Now, most of this paragraph was just jibber jabber and didn't make any sense. But she tries to sneak in the blame shifting when she said that she may as well enjoy herself because nobody's paying attention and nobody cares. Oh, poor me. Nobody cares about me. Nobody cares I've gotten my heart broken for the 14th time this year. I may as well enjoy myself and take a bunch of dudes. Amy, you were going to do that anyway. Stop fronting. I need the distraction so badly. I'm busy, but the problem is, she continues, is that a lot of my work is flexible enough that my mind drifts away. This means that the guy I'm trying to get over is in my head way too frequently. I'm too good at mentally multitasking. I'm going to seize the day, seize a new dude, and get on with my life. This is funny. She says she's busy, but her work is so flexible that her mind drifts away. Translation: my work isn't challenging or important enough to require any mental effort, so my mind can drift. Flexible means easy, and she knows it. It'll remind me that I'm worthy of attention. To be quite frank, I'm in need of a confidence boost. I need to be treated like I'm attractive and desirable. I've almost forgotten what that's like. I'm a confident and independent woman, but it sucks to go for so long feeling invisible to the opposite sex. I'm down for whichever guy wants to make me feel like the hottest girl around. Once again, this is a woman who wonders why she can get the cucumber but not the commitment. She wants a man to make her feel like she's the hottest girl around, which means pounding her out, pulling her hair, calling her names, then choking her out with his you-know-what. And that's all well and good, but she still doesn't understand that just because a man is sleeping with you does not mean he wants to commit to you. This is how clueless girls are. They think to themselves, well, he's sleeping with me, so of course he wants to be my boyfriend. Of course he wants a relationship. Then wonder why she gets ghosted on. She's honestly confused as to why he stops calling or coming around. It's because he's done with you. He got what he wanted out of you, which was easy sex. And because he doesn't like being around you outside of sex, there's no reason for him to hang around anymore. The sooner women figure out that sexual attention does not equal relationship attention, the better off they'll be. I say this all the time. A man who makes a girl feel hot is like junk food. It tastes great, but it never fills her up and it's bad for her health. This is why junk food is hard to quit and why getting passed around is always hard to stop. I don't care what people think of me. When I was younger, she says, I was stressed out about how others viewed me and therefore made a lot of decisions based on that insecurity. Now I'm more worried about doing what's best for me. I finally realized that most people are far too absorbed in their own lives to give a damn what's going on with me. Now, right at the end, she got it right. She's starting to figure out that people aren't paying as much attention to her as she thought they were. Girls are solipsistic like this. They think that everyone is paying attention to everything they do all the time, as though they have nothing better to do than to pay attention to her awesome life. Well, Miss Horton's been around long enough to have finally figured out that this clearly is not the case. But what she says at the beginning of this paragraph is the very reason why girls didn't used to sleep around. You see, back in the day, if a girl slept around or had sex even one time, they were shamed and ostracized. A girl who was not a virgin was a girl who was not worthy of being a wife. If a girl got pregnant, they'd send her away to have the baby somewhere else to avoid bringing shame and scandal to the family. Because of this, girls were very self-conscious and smartly avoided sex until marriage. But Miss Horton calls this phenomenon insecurity, as if to say that being concerned about not being viewed as a potential wife and mother was a bad thing. This is exactly what kept girls in line back in the day. But today, not even close. Girls are encouraged to make themselves as unmarriable as humanly possible and use the "I'm not going to feed into that insecurity" excuse to jump into bed with anything with a Y chromosome and a pulse. Social pressure works, gentlemen, and proof of this is all around us every day as we're surrounded by overweight people because no one calls them out anymore. We don't put social pressure on girls to protect their purity, so we're surrounded by sausage collectors. We've convinced these girls that sleeping around and gaining a bunch of weight is doing what's best for them. Life is too short to have such high morals. I wish I'd lowered my standards a long time ago, she says, to be honest, because I think they've kept me from having a lot of fun. I've always been too serious. I need to relax, she says, get my rebound on, and know that as long as I'm honest, it'll all be okay. So now she's trying to justify sleeping around. Life is short. Why have high morals? Amy, you never had morals. You were trying to convince us you did by saying you wish you had lowered your standards a long time ago, as if to imply that you've always been moral with high standards. Sweetheart, you're a 42-year-old woman who's been violated by 547 guys, have probably had a half a dozen abortions, and countless STDs. You've never had morals, because if you did, you'd be married to a man you respect and love, who respects and loves you back. You've never been too serious about men because you were young and had plenty of time. But now that you know your time is up, and you know you have no chance at happiness, you want to make us think you're going to sleep around for the first time in your life, and that the single life is this new lifestyle you're trying. Get my rebound on means get my hookup on with randos, and you've done this since your teens. I don't need to be in love to enjoy myself, she continues. I used to have such a hopelessly romantic view of relationships and intimacy. I never wanted to sleep with anyone I didn't love. Now I know that if I live that way, I'm probably going to go a long time without getting laid. That sucks, and I want to have a good sex life while I am still young enough to do so. Oh, good God. So she says she never wanted to sleep with anyone she didn't love. But you can bet your bottom dollar she absolutely did. She's not fooling anyone here. This is like women saying, I'd like to think I'm not a banana gobbler, which is a non-denial denial. But then she says something that shows us that she is absolutely a petri dish. She said that if she were more discriminate and only slept with men she loved, then she'd go a long time without getting laid. So you're going to be an eggplant enthusiast because you want to get laid, right? Amy Horton is the kind of woman who will end up alone because of this mentality. She doesn't value male companionship. She doesn't value a good relationship with a high-caliber guy. She cares more about random sausage than building a healthy relationship with a high-value male. And females like her wonder why they're miserable.